A lot of you have been asking me for updates on whatever happened with what you guys called the bad karma bride situation, and I finally have an update. It's not good news, although I wish that it was. For any of those who haven't really kept up with what was going on, a couple of months ago, a customer bought a wedding dress from me that was in really nice condition. I had put over 20 hours of restoration work into it. It was a silk, beautiful wedding dress. He ended up emailing me the day before the cutoff period for returns, telling me that she ordered it knowing it was too small and realized she wasn't going to be able to get it tailored to fit her for her special day. I would have been totally fine with a situation like this ordinarily, but when it comes to something not fitting, I have a very strict policy about that because there's the risk of people buying vintage items and kind of using it like a rental service and then returning it with way more damage than when I sent it out. I take extremely accurate measurements as best as I can, and I try to be as transparent as possible, and I always encourage people to ask any additional questions they might have beforehand, and I try to tackle those too. I ended up emailing her back quickly and apologizing. I stated the policy, but I also tried to offer her some solutions of maybe thinking of getting some corseting work done or adding a backing panel to it, and then she changed her story completely from there. Then she stated the dress arrived in unwearable condition, that it was covered in stains, that she wouldn't even be able to wear it on her special day, and she wanted a refund immediately without even sending the item back. And I was shocked because when I sent that gown out, it was in pristine condition. And you can look from some of the pictures. It was pretty great. Asked her if it was damaged maybe in shipping because there was no way it was damaged when I sent it out. She said she didn't know. I tried to file through the shipping insurance that I had paid for out of pocket. They said because she didn't have pictures of the package looking damaged in any way, they couldn't cover it, which is understandable. And so after that process went on, I let her know what was going on, and she continued to demand a refund without even sending the item back. And finally, she ended up filing a chargeback, claiming to her bank that I was a non-responsive seller and had basically abandoned her purchase and wasn't fulfilling my responsibility. So the chargeback comes up on my end through Shopify, and I immediately dispute it. I put together all of the documentation. It took me hours to try to compress it into a file that was small enough that would be accepted by the investigation team, but I did it, and I sent it off, and that was months ago, and they received it, and then I finally got an update today. Shopify notified me that it ruled in the customer's favor and that the $540 would be sent back to her. Now, we all know from the evidence from the previous videos, you guys can go back and watch those, that what she did was against their policies and illegal, frankly. The notification I had gotten was via email from Shopify telling me about the determination, and when I clicked on it, there was no information included in it whatsoever as to how they made their determination or what the reason was. It just said that it ruled in her favor. So I instantly looked into this and I started to read their help articles. A lot of it said that if something like that happened, I was supposed to contact the customer's bank. So yesterday, I ended up spending about an hour on the phone with Discover trying to get to the right department. They transferred me, the line would drop, or they transferred me and the selection option wouldn't activate. It was a whole mess. So I finally got to what I thought was the right department, only for them to tell me that they needed me to get to a different department, but that they were already closed for the day and I was gonna have to call back the next day. Fast forward, I call them today during their open hours, and they tell me we have no idea why you would think that you would need to call us about this. This would all have been done through Shopify. You need to contact them. So I ended up reaching out to Shopify, and it turned out that they only seemed to have chat communication. I had asked them if somebody could call me because it was a lot of information to have to just go back and forth through messages with a delayed response time. That's when Shopify informed me that they do not permit calls to customer service unless I am subscribed to their Plus tier, which meant I would have had to be paying over $2,000 a month in a subscription to them just to be able to talk to someone on the phone. So instead, I tried to make do with the chat. I ended up spending, I think, over an hour because, again, it had these delayed responses. I would send a message and minutes would go by. I wouldn't get a ding if there was a notification. It kept disconnecting me throughout this chat. And what they kept telling me over and over was that they have no involvement whatsoever with the investigation process, with chargebacks as a whole. They claim no liability, that they don't save any of the information at all, so that they would be completely and utterly useless to help me, and stated they had absolutely no idea why Discover would ask me to talk to them about this. So now that I've got this weird delayed chat thing going on, I decided to call up Discover at the same time. I'm on the phone with Discover and I've got the live chat going with Shopify. I ended up spending over 30 minutes on the phone with Discover while actively communicating with this chat. Shopify could not provide me with a Discover merchant ID for my transactions. Shopify said that they had no idea why I would be asking for an investigation number or any form a confirmation number. Discover was shocked that Shopify didn't have any of this information and kept trying to revert me over to them when they had no idea how Shopify had even filed this dispute in the first place directly through their app without having this information. After running in circles for, like I said, about an hour with Shopify through their live chat, I finally just conceded. They told me that they weren't going to be able to do anything to help me, that they refused to have anybody call me. I asked for a manager or supervisor, someone who might have more information multiple times, and they refused to escalate what was going on. So now I'm out $540. I did eventually get the gown back, and it is completely ruined. It was either clearly worn or stained in somehow, and I've been so busy with my move and trying to get settled in, I haven't even been able to restore it and resell it to recoup that cost. So it's been absolutely ridiculous. Shopify has been useless. Discover has no idea what's going on with this. They can't even pull up the case. They don't have any idea why, with the actions that this person did, that something would be determined in her favor. They already told me that that doesn't make any sense why they would do something like that. So that's where I am right now. I am wildly disappointed in Shopify as a platform right now. I moved to Shopify over a year ago, strictly just using Shopify because I was running into issues with some other platforms with like hidden fees and stuff like that. So I figured I would rather put in the time and commitment and money to run my own space, you know? So I was really excited to be part of them. I was really thinking about like partnering with them one day or something, but with this kind of stuff going on, like, it was all done through the app, all through features that they offer, that they tell you to use for their chargebacks. And now they're saying that they have no liability, they have no investigation information or number, they have no way of telling why a determination was made. It was a circle that happened for like an hour straight of them just telling me like they will take no part in this process. They didn't give me any resources either. They just kept telling me to contact Discover. And while I was on the phone with Discover, they're saying, we don't know why they're telling you to contact us because without you having a Discover merchant ID or an investigation number, we can't pull anything up. So finally, Discover, thankfully, there was this woman who was very kind and understanding with what was going on. She tried to compile a report. She's going to escalate it to see if maybe within the next week or so someone can contact me about this. But as it stands right now, Shopify is completely useless in helping, and Discover has no idea how to even access the information without the information that Shopify was supposed to have. I have no idea why Shopify would insist that you file your disputes for chargebacks through their app using their features and then try to claim absolutely no responsibility when a determination is made and they have no information to offer. It doesn't make any sense. Otherwise, it should just be rerouting you to a third party. It shouldn't have you actively use their application when they're trying to claim no liability. I now have no way to get my investigation number. I don't even know what department it was sent to or who. It just said that it was sent off to the banking department or whatever where the chargeback was filed, which the bank can't locate because they don't have any of that information. So all in all, I guess I'm just gonna hope that somebody contacts me within like the next week and do some more research on my side, but this has taken up my entire morning, moving into my afternoon now, and I just wanted to work. I just wanted to continue restoring some of my garments, and this whole chargeback thing, this is a growing issue, and being on the receiving end of it sucks because it is a pain in the butt to file all of the paperwork, to have to go through all of this. I'm probably gonna look into a third-party app myself that can manage this kind of stuff for me for a small fee. This is just, people, don't do this. Don't do this to small businesses. If they're not willing to work something out with you because it goes against their policies, just keep that in mind. Maybe don't shop there, or maybe just keep it in mind for your next purchase. You know, something like that. A lot of us are willing to be flexible and help you out, but to file a chargeback, it's just mean. It's wrong. It takes so much of my time, of our time. I have to figure this stuff out all because you didn't like the outcome. Yeah, Bad Karma Bride, thank you so much for putting me through all of this when I've already got a lot going on right now. That's just money that I now have to try to find out how to earn in other ways, and I'm hopeful that it'll get resolved, but if it doesn't, life moves on, and I will do my best. Yeah, so there you go. That's the update.